to my Photoshop tutorial. So let's get started with my tutorial. First thing first, I want to introduce you to the working tools that you have to use. So let's start. Here you have your toolbar, your default toolbar. You use your tools for everything, to paint, to correct an image, to even to adjust the brightness, saturation, create and select the things in the image, paint, things like that. Then you have your this bar that is basically everything you do. In the file you have new, you open the file commands that you are use that you use on Word. Edit, you have ways of editing an image. Image, you have the adjustments, the things you can do to an image, color correct the image, etc. Layer, in Photoshop everything is composed by layer. If I open a picture, if I open a picture, you can see that you have this background layer. To add layers, you go to the layer, new layer, and you add a layer that doesn't have anything. But if you paint on this layer, this is a layer with this is a transparent layer that is on top of our image. If we paint or anything on that layer, you will have like a transparent sheet on top of this background layer, and you have the adjustment layers that you can go. Okay, layer, new adjustment layer, sorry, and you can choose your adjustment layer. And this is a like a transparent sheet, which you can do non-destructive editing on that sheet. For example, you want to make your image brighter, you choose a adjustment layer that is like a transparent sheet on top of that layer, and that layer affects everything beneath it. Okay, just a quick intro into layers. Okay, you have the select images and change their edges and things like that. You have the filter, you have many filters. I will show you a filter. Have artistic filters that make your image different. This is a flight image, and you can do anything with your, make it more art-like. So the filter affects an image, and you can add smart filters, but that's well, the analysis is like the ruler tool, etc., to view how something is in your image, measure and things like that. In the view, you have many things that regard the view, like zoom in, zoom out, fit on screen, actual. I recommend you use actual pixels. This is the way you view your image. For example, if you see here, the image is displaying and at 100% of its original size. So I recommend you to use original pixels. If you go fit on screen, it will display at 94%. But if you are working with a um, large image, it's better to zoom out a little bit, because nowadays cameras can take large image, and it's hard to work on them. So I will teach you ways uh, to resize that image, but it's better to display at like 60% of its original size. You have window, that is your workspace. You can arrange your workspace and click on the things you want to see. You have help, that you know you have here tutorials, online tutorials, but none of these tutorials give you the basics uh, of the tools, etc. So I think you better see this one, because you can have a good outlook into the basics of of Photoshop. So you have here these buttons that are like the window menu, that you can choose the things you want to see, um, the brushes sizes, clone sources, things like that. You can choose what panels you want to see, and then drag them around. I like personally, I like to have my history and actions panel, and have my workspace this way, and it's very good to use. Stretch this out. Okay, but and here on this panel you have the navigator, that you can see your image, the histogram that shows how your image. This is not very important, but it's like the info, the call info in our image. But you have the info of your image, you know, the size, um, the channels, things like that, that you don't need to look. So here, this tab here are the tools of Photoshop. Here in this tab you have the main things you can do in Photoshop, and here you have the properties of each tool. I don't know if you are seeing, but if you toggle between the tools, you have the properties of each tool that we are going to see. Here you have the panels that you want to open. Here in Navigator you have the um, the image for you to see. You have the histogram and the info that are like the info of the image. Here in the color swatches and styles panel, you have many colors to switch and to paint with your paint tools, that are the gradient, the paintbrush, this vector shape tool, that is a pen tool. Here you have the layers panel, the channel. Sorry. Oops. Okay. Sorry about that. Here you have the layers panel, that it's your main panel, displays all the layers that you can work on and do adjustments. You have the channels panel, that there are many channels you can use. You don't need that. You have the paths panel, that is to do selections on your image. If you create a new path, you can make selections and select certain things. For example, in this image, let me just display the actual size. For example, I want to cut my my assist, this cut this doll in the bar, if you don't know Flash, and have just this doll and like key out the background. You can do that with path. So this is a basic look in Photoshop. You can certainly see the basic uh, things you can do. The next tutorial will be about tools, the tools of Photoshop, and maybe I will do a tutorial about all the adjustments you can add, all the filters, things like that, for you to do simple adjustments, and how to make selections paths. So I will have a good tutorial series of Photoshop, so check those out.